What is going on, everybody? How we doing? Welcome back to the Georgia Meth Show, you guys. Today is a special day, you guys. It is the final boss, the GOAT of all goats. Birthday today. Yours truly, myself, Mr. George. Guys, my birthday today. We're coming up here. We're grinding. We're being consistent, doing what we got to do on our birthday. It is June 26th, 2026, Monday morning, sharp. We're up here grinding. We got a lot to talk about, you guys. We got the Mets firing Carlos Mendoza, which we'll talk about. Jazz Chisholm Jr. and his situations, his nonsense that he keeps doing. Also be talking about Giannis going to Miami. That was a pretty interesting trade. And Night of Champions review. We're gonna review Night of Champions from WWE. So before we get started, like I say every single time, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, and comment down below your thoughts and opinion on every single topic that we talk about today and what we discuss. Maybe what I say about it, my opinion on it, your opinion on it, whatever. Let me know down below. Now, let's get started with the positive vibe set quote for today, you guys. I'm going to keep it very simple. I think this one, it's a bit selfishly, but I'm going to aim it towards myself. Thank God for another year of living. I really do think that is the perfect quote for today. Thank God for another year of living. Another year of being able to wake up every single morning from this bed. Trust me, many people don't have that opportunity to wake up from this bed every single morning, even to do like the simplest things of using the bathroom, being able to breathe, being able to walk on my 2 feet, being able to see, hear, taste, smell, etc. I really do thank him from that, because that is the most important thing, I appreciate everybody that says happy birthday. That's the number one most important thing. Thank you, God, for another year of living. Now, many people get, an opportunity to live up to this time. So let's get into it, you guys. We're going to start off with Mets situation here. So let me read it out. So, the New York Mets officially parted ways with manager Carlos Mendoza on Friday, June 26, 2026. After leading the team to the NLCS in his first year in 2024, the momentum completely evaporated, leaving the Mets mired in a disastrous season. So how can I word this? So let me break it down a little bit. So the Mets fired Mendoza. They had aimed at a 6-game losing streak that dropped their record to a dismissal 34-47 record, bearing them at the bottom of the NL East. Senior Vice President Andy Green has been named interim head manager of the remainder of the season. Fundamental breakdowns. The team has been plugged by horrific defense and sloppy play, highlighted by a recent game against the Cubs where they committed 6 errors. Base running regression. After being the most efficient base stealing team in MLB last year, they plummeted to the worst in 2026. Offense black hole. The team's batting average and on-base percentage have dipped to a historic franchise low, where the major regression from young players like Mark Vientos and Brett Beatty. So, I read all... So... How am I going to put this? I read all of that stuff. The fundamental breakdown, the base running regression, and the offense black hole. I read all of that. And for me, who comes to mind is David Stearns. Because base running regressions. David Stearns was the one that let Anthony, I forget this gentleman's name, go to the Braves over money. This horrific defense was put, the players that are put at the positions that they're at right now is because of David Stearns. This offense is because of David Stearns. So here's the thing. I don't put the blame, I put partial blame. If it's out of 100%, I put 25% of the blame on Carlos Mendoza. Why? Because at the end of the day, they're paying you the big bucks to be the manager of this team. But those 75% remaining, I put that blame on David Stearns. Here's why. David Stearns let go of Pete Alonso for an injury-prone Jorge Polanco. Now we have, since Jorge Polanco has gone down, a Mark Vientos at first base who is absolutely garbage. He can't catch the ball for his day in his life. This dude has dropped pop flies. He's dropped throws right at him, right in front of him. He's dropped them left and right. You let go of a Brandon Nimmo who was a solid player for the Mets for an aging Marcus Semien who can't seem to hit the ball, not even to save his life, just because of quote unquote defense. You let go of a Jeff McNeil just because it was time to part ways with him. You traded for a Freddie Peralta who has close to a 4 ERA. You paid Sean Manaea $75 million, which granted at the time seemed like a good deal. Now it seems like garbage. You got a Kodai Senga who has a 10 ERA. 10 ERA. So you give $42 million to Bo Bichette to play third base when he's not a good shortstop. So how are you going to move him to third base and expect him to be good? It's like when you ball all that up, it comes down to David Stearns. I put the blame on David Stearns, not Carlos Mendoza. Because David Stearns decided to be Mr. Fancy Pants and try to change up everything around the Mets. And it didn't work. And it's obviously showing that it's not working. If I'm Steve Cohen, who I'm upset at is David Stearns. Because what the fuck are these moves that you're doing, my guy? What is this bullshit you've done? I said it at the very beginning. Why the hell are we giving Bo Bichette $42 million? Are we out of our goddamn mind? Bo Bichette is not even close to worth $42 million. So then we let go of Pete Alonso because of worried about the back end of the contract. Who gives a shit? Who knows if we'll be alive at that time? Who gives a shit about that back end contract? Now the dude's playing out of his mind. Like it's ridiculous. Pete Alonso lately has been playing phenomenal. I saved it. Alonso this month has a .299 batting average with 8 home runs and 22 RBIs. And he's hit 19 home runs for the season. You don't think that would help out for this Mets offense that is a disaster? That's an embarrassment to New York. This is an embarrassment. This team right now is a flat out embarrassment. So you go and get Luis Robert Jr., who is very injury prone, cannot seem to stay on the field. When he's on the field, he's a good player, but he seems to not be able to. Now he's having one of the worst problems that you can ever have in life, which is a back problem. So it's like the stuff that David Stearns has done is not good. We got way too many players that are out of position. You got Brett Beatty in the outfield. You got Brett Beatty at second base. You got Brett Beatty at first. A guy that has never played positions like that. You got Mark Vientos playing first base, who was a third baseman, I think, coming up. It's just, this is a flat out embarrassment. You gave up prospects for a Freddie Peralta, who is absolutely right now atrocious. And then on top of that, this guy, he's out of his goddamn mind because he wants teams to give him a $200 million contract right now, which we did speak about last time. But the way he's playing, he must be out of his goddamn mind if he thinks he's going to get that shit. So then you got Brett Beatty, who's been not good at all. He's currently batting a 210 batting average with an on-base OPS of 589 and an OPS plus of 68. Bro, that's fucking dog shit. That is dog shit right now. You got Mark Vientos, who is doing nothing better. He has a 212 average with an OPS of 638, on-base percentage of 253, slugging 385. This is embarrassing. Like, this is flat out embarrassing. You got Marcus Semien now on the IL. But before that, he had a 214 batting average with an OPS of 613 and an OPS plus of 72. Guys, this is no bueno. This is no bueno, no good at all. This is a flat out embarrassment. Francisco Alvarez, he's doing so. He has a 249 batting average with a slugging 422 and an OPS of 736 with an OPS plus of 106. But then after that, it's like, this is atrocious. So don't even get me started on Devin Williams. You went and gave Devin Williams $51 million just for him to put up a 4.28 ERA and a negative WAR of 0.4. This guy comes out of the bullpen and you're just shitting bricks. I don't even know if it's shitting bricks, shitting houses or mountains, because this dude sucks. So it's like, it becomes one of those things of, do you not see what he did cross down? Like, is it not functioning through your head? Did you not see that he was dog shit with the Yankees, that they even took him out of the closer role? Like, it is flat out embarrassing. And I feel bad for Carlos Mendoza because he seems like he's well appreciated around the league. I think who needed to be fired with David Stearns, not Carlos Mendoza, because David Stearns is the one that's done all this bullshit. Because yes, all he's done is bullshit here. He hasn't done nothing impactful. Steve Cohen was the one that brought in Juan Soto. Steve Cohen was the one that brought in Pete Alonso. Not David Stearns. He didn't want them. He didn't want to bring them over. So imagine if we had a team where you didn't even have Juan Soto. We would be even worse. Think about it. Juan Soto right now is batting a 300 batting average with a slugging 567, OPS of 972 with an OPS plus of 171. The dude is batting out of his mind. But think about it. This guy, David Stearns, did not want him. The only reason why they got him was because of Steve Cohen, because he's the one that stepped in. So it's like all the moves that this man has done has been nothing but a pile of bullshit. A pile of horseshit. That's all he's done. That is literally all he's done. You gave Sean Manaea a garbage ass contract. You went and got Marcus Semien, who can't hit for his life. You went and got Devin Williams, who's an embarrassment. You went and got who else? You gave $42 million to Bo Bichette, who, to be fair a little bit, he is doing okay right now. His batting average has gone up to 254, but he still has an OPS of 687 with an OPS plus of 92. Okay. You've traded prospects for a Freddie Peralta, who sucks. You got Luke Weaver, who has gotten a little bit better now. But when then you fired all the head coaches, you let Jeremy Hefner go to the Braves, which now you can see that he has made the Braves pitching staff beautiful. Like, that staff right now is phenomenal. The Braves, you guys, who thought the Braves were gonna? Who in their right mind thought coming into this season that the Braves were going to be in first place, 49-33? Nobody. But Jeremy Hefner has made sure that Braves bullpen is beautiful. Literally, think about this. Just looking at their bullpen right now. Where's it at? Just looking at their bullpen. Think about it. Chris Sale has a 2.10 ERA. A 37-year-old Chris Sale has a 2.10 ERA. Grant Holmes has a 3.96 ERA. Martin Perez has a 3 ERA. Spencer Strider, before going on the IL, wasn't doing good, but it's whatever. Bryce Edler had a 4 ERA, though, but, all right. Bullpen. Rafael Iglesias has a 1.37 ERA. Dylan Lee has a 0.97 ERA. Robert, before going on the 15-day IL, a 56 ERA. Like, this guy knows his stuff. So think about it. You let him go. You let him walk. You let him go to your division rival. And now he has that rotation beautiful. They are doing phenomenal. You let Anthony go, who had Soto stealing bases like nothing last year. You let him walk for a couple dollars to the Braves. And this is what happens. Results like this is what happens. And it's sad because, this team 2 years ago was in the NLCS. They lost to the World Series winners, Dodgers. And after that, We didn't make the playoffs last year, and we're damn sure not making the playoffs this year. So what's the solution? We got to sell. We're going to have to start ground up and sell. We're going to have to figure out how we're going to do. I would recommend building around Juan Soto. He's young. He's only 26, 27 years old. He's a young cat. You're paying him over $45 million a year. He's going to be here for a long time. Might as well, build around him. Lindor, he's a good player. He's been, a bit injury lately as time goes by, and he's also getting older, which I do think he's a little bit older than Juan Soto. Build around Juan Soto. He's a good young player who is just entering his prime. Like literally, this dude is one of the best hitters in baseball right now, for sure, for sure. Top 5, no question. But I would look to get rid of Freddie Peralta. I would look to get rid of Devin Williams. I would look to try to get rid of Kodai Senga, Sean Manaea. I honestly don't know what's going on with the starting rotation. Nolan McLean has seemed to lost his shit. He currently has a 4 ERA with Freddie Peralta having a 4.53 ERA. Kodai Senga, like I said, a 9 ERA right now. Christian Scott is with a 3.20 ERA. The only person that has been good, and it's been the only good thing David Stearns has done, is with Clay Holmes, making him from a relief pitcher to a starter. Before he got on the 60-day IL, he had a 2.39 ERA. That's the only good thing he's done. After that, he's been a flat-out embarrassment. But we got to make some changes. The fact that I think we're gonna end off in last place. I honestly do. Think about it. The Marlins are currently 44-40. Nationals are 43-42. And we're 35-49. Like, bro, we are doing worse than the Chicago White Sox. We're doing as bad as the Colorado Rockies and the Los Angeles Angels. What the fuck is this? We're playing as bad as the Red Sox, the Angels, the Rockies, the Reds, the Royals. This is a flat out embarrassment. This is an embarrassment, dude, to this state. We're an embarrassment right now to New York. Literally an embarrassment. We have a $300 million payroll. And most of these teams that are in last place don't even have close to the payroll that we have. You think that the Cincinnati Reds have a $300 million plus payroll? Hell no. The Rockies? Hell no. The Angels? Hell no. The Royals? Fuck no. The Red Sox? Hell no. Out of all the last place teams, we're the only team that has a $300 million payroll, and we're playing like shit. The Marlins, for crying out loud, are doing better than us, and they don't even have close, not even half the payroll that we have. This is how bad we're doing this year. So think about it. We didn't make the playoffs last year. And now we're destined to not even lick a wild card spot. We're on June 29th. There is no way this team is the way they're performing, is going to come back. There's no way. I'm sorry. There's no way they're going to do this. We can't seem to hit the baseball. We can't seem to catch the ball in the major leagues. We can't seem to catch the ball. That is the number one fundamental thing you get taught since the get-go. Our pitchers are all dog shit right now. All of them are dog shit. You got to understand that when they come up, you're shitting bricks, mountains, because they suck. Our closer is full of shit. He is an embarrassment every time he comes out. After Pete Alonso hit that home run, he has been destroyed mentally or whatever. But this is, Andy Green's not going to do jack. I'm sorry, but this team is not going anywhere. It is not. Carlos Mendoza, he will get a job. He will find one. He really will. Because this wasn't his fault. This was his buddy, David Stern's. To put it like that, this was David Stern's fault, not his. All right, moving on, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about Mr. Giannis Antetokounmpo going to the Miami Heat. Let's talk about it. All right. So after years of speculation and leverage plays, the Milwaukee Bucks have officially pulled the plug late Monday night, trading Giannis Antetokounmpo to the Miami Heat in an absolutely off-season earthquake right before the NBA draft. So here's the trade breakdown. The Miami Heat receive Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bobby Portis. For the Bucks receive Tyler Hero and what? The Bucks receive Tyler Hero, Jamie Jasquez, Khalil War, Casper's. I suck with this name stuff. They received the 2026 number 13 overall pick, 2023 or 2031, 2033 unprotected first round picks, and a 2030 pick swap and a 2033 second round pick. So Giannis is entering his final deal, but he is fully expected to sign a 4-year, $275 million extension with Miami in 6 months. So let's break this down. So Miami obviously got improved way better. Now you got with Bam, you partner up Giannis. It is rumored that possibly they're trying to get LeBron to go over there. That would be nice. I think that was a good trade. I think Giannis wanted to part ways with the Bucks long time ago. I think it's one of those situations that he realized it's going to be hard to get, name flag or, big name players to go over there and be interested. It just, sadly, it's what happens, like places like Milwaukee. I think it's just many players just don't want to go over there. I don't know if it's maybe the living or the vibes or the scenery isn't as nice, but many players, it's just hard to get them over there. Think about it. You got so many big name players like Kawhi, Kyrie, Kevin Durant, James Harden, who just, have been moved around so much, but never been pointed to go to the Bucks, and go pair up with Giannis, who's a phenomenal player. But he wanted out there. He wanted to be out. He wanted to go to Miami. I think Giannis, he wants to win a championship, and he also wants a good team surrounded by him. And obviously for Miami, they're going to be top heavy monster now. Because think about it. Now you got Giannis with Bam to create, definitely a defense in the front court. But the problem is that Giannis is going to cost them an essential, basically a bench. Now you got to go figure out how you're going to scrap up benches because you gave him away to get him. And the roster is definitely unbalanced right now. They're going to have to go, now they got a guard problem, because they shipped out Tyler Hero and Kyle Lowry is gone. Their backcourt is incredibly thin. They're going to have to go get a guard. They're currently looking at Donovan Mitchell as their starting point, or Davion Mitchell as their starting point guard. So this means a lot of point Giannis and Bam, intimidating the offense or initiating the offense. Like I said, they have zero depth. They are currently now at the hard cap, hoping they can find their way to re-sign Norman Powell, who just made an all-star team and commands 20 million plus, or Andrew Wiggins without cutting money. Right now, they only have 8 or a 9-man rotation with capable players. Spacing issues. Neither Giannis nor Bam are perimeter threats, and Mitchell is a sneaky shooter at best. Opposing defenses are going to pack the paint heavy, meaning Eric has to figure out how to generate 3-point shot with very little money left to spend in free agency. So the icky part is they're at the hard cap, so for them to go spend some money is going to be a little bit difficult because, you got Giannis now. You got to figure out how you're going to clear space to find, a perimeter shooter. Um, with the Bucks, obviously this is a hard reset after missing the playoffs entirely in 2025, 2026. Um, despite, waiving Damian Lillard for Miles Turner, their front office finally accepted reality. They're going to start rebuilding. Now they have a young core with Tyler Hero, Jamie Jasquez Jr., and upside center and Kyle War. I think they'll be good. They got a lot of draft capital now. The outlook, obviously they won't be competing for no championship anytime soon, but they're going to start rebuilding little by little and hopefully try to make a good contending team that can help them out. Um, I think Miami's definitely going to have to go get some shooters because they will have a problem where, 40% from the 3-point shooter range is not going to work. Um, Maybe you go out and trade for like a Clay Thompson. Who knows? I've seen Ocho Cinco talking about that a lot. Um, maybe they figure out. But listen, good trade for both sides. They decided to move on and do what they got to do. So congrats to Giannis coming to Miami Heat. We'll see how they do this season. Now, moving on. This is a different type of topic that I'm going to take a sip of water for because this is, how can I word it? This is something very, very scary that can fuck up this. It's very scary. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you guys, it's Brandon Brenda Sorsby. Brandon Sorsby, a 22-year-old quarterback who was a standout college player at Cincinnati, is currently facing a total professional roadblock from the 2026 season due to significant sports gambling scandal. So let me break it down. The gambling scandal. Sorsby's career trajectory shifted drastically in early 2026. Admission, Sorsby admitted to placing thousands of bets totaling nearly $90,000 over his college career. This included at least 40 wagers on Indiana football, his own team at the time, during his freshman season in 2022. The NCAA ruling, he was ruled permanently ineligible by the NCCAA for these violations, rehab and legal battles. In 2026, or in April 2026, he checked into a residential treatment program for a diagnosis of gambling addiction. Later, he sued the NCAA and successfully gained a temporary court order reinstatement, which led to significant backlash when he initially planned to play for Texas Tech. His current stats right now, or status for 2026, following his departure from Texas Tech, Sorsby attempted to pivot to professional football, but his options has been systematically closed. The NFL, after he applied for the NFL draft, supplementary draft, the league informed him that they would not be holding one this year. The NFL advised him to focus on preparing for the regular 2027 draft. The CFL, the Canadian Football League, has explicitly banned its teams from signing Sorsby or adding him to their negotiation list, citing a desire to uphold league integrity. His background in college, before the controversy, Sorsby had established himself as an illegitimate NFL prospect. He began at Indiana in 2022-2023 before transferring to Cincinnati for the 2024-25 season, where he developed into a productive dual threat quarterback. His performance in 2025, he was a semifinalist for the Davy O'Brien Award and tied a Cincinnati school record with 36 total touchdowns in a season. Scouting report profile at 6'3" and approximately 235 pounds. He was a widely regarded for his arm strength, pro style, and physical profile, and ability to create plays with his legs. Scouts noted both his elite arm talent and his obstacle struggles with decision making and inconsistent or against top tier defenses. So here's what I'm gonna say, because this is what I've heard. For from his time in 2022 to 2026, so 4 years. His time in college for over the 4 years, he's placed over 9,000 bets. I will repeat that again. Over his 3 to 4 years in college, he has placed over 9,000 bets, you guys. So, just to summarize what I just read, essentially, for the people, long story short, what he was doing was he was betting on games that either he played or teams against him or just other games. He was betting on them to either win or whatever, etc. But he was betting on games similar to what something that Pete Rose did. That's what essentially this gentleman was doing. And it is he's apparently betted over collectively over $90,000. So essentially probably doing bets like $5 where Lamar Jackson's gonna score a touchdown or Derrick Henry's gonna get a touchdown or some shit like that, probably. Here's my thoughts on this. I don't think he should go to the NFL. I think this is something that you cannot do. I'm sorry, but you cannot be gambling this much. This is an addiction. Literally, this is an addiction, my people, that this gentleman has. For you to be doing stuff like this, it's insane. You gotta have a bad addiction. All right, my apologies, you guys. I had to take a quick second situation. But continuing on this topic, I'm gonna say this right now. I don't think he should get any playing time anywhere. I think this is something that he needs to take a pause off of sports and he's to focus on this gambling situation. Here's why. I'm glad that the NFL did that. You know why? Because I'm one of those people that if Pete Rose got the consequences where he was one of the he was the greatest hitter, putting the bat to the ball of all time, and he didn't make the Hall of Fame because of this gambling, this gentleman right here shouldn't make it. Listen, for the people that say, oh, he's a good player, he would be good for like the Jets or a team that needs a quarterback like the Steelers or some shit. Listen, we're talking about a gambling addiction. That's why I said this is something that fucks up right here. When you get addicted to winning and winning and winning, especially making thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars every time from gambling something so easily of just one or two clicks of a button, that is extremely dangerous. This is a situation where this kid can go bankrupt because of all the money he's making from the NCAA, from college. The fact that he's putting it into betting, that's very dangerous, you guys. This is not the pathway he should be going under. And it's like, I'm glad the NFL did that, like I said earlier, because this is an addiction. It's going to be hard to get him to stop doing that. You know how many times is 9,000 people? 9,000 times gambling? That is horrible. That is extremely addicting. Way too much. That's extremely too much. 100 is a lot. 9,000? That is way too much time. And $90,000? He could have put that $90,000 into something else that would have earned him maybe triple the amount back into that. Especially with his name in college where he's known. It's an addiction, you guys. And it's like if he had went to the NFL and played with the NFL, he was going to continue and it was going to be something that was going to escalate to something even worse. Now, I am surprised that the judges gave him an opportunity to play because it's like, this is not right. This kills the integrity of the game. How are you going to let this kid play? Like, how are you going to give him the green light to go back and play for Texas Tech? That's stupid. This is an addiction that needs to be cured. Now, granted, I will say the problem also has been is that a lot of these companies and a lot of these humongous companies that are worth billions and trillions of dollars promote this gambling stuff Almost every sport in the league, every sports league now promotes gambling. If it's Prize Picks, Underdog, we do it, but I always say bet responsibly at the end. But a lot of these big league companies promote it. But the thing is that there's a lot of people that get that dopamine of when they see a green, they get addicted to it. They want to keep going and keep going and keep winning green. And when they hit red, they want to keep trying to get green again. And it's just a constant circle of spending, 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 spending. That's not going to help them at all. It's not beneficial at all. I think he should just continue going in, getting help, because this is dangerous. Really is. Now, speaking about bets, moving on to underdog sports bets, you guys. Like I say every time, please bet responsibly. Don't get into this kind of situation. Here's my picks for today. I have Aaron Nola going up against the Pirates, you guys. I have him higher than 5 strikeouts. I think he's going to get it against the Pirates. Choose that. I got Braxton Ashcraft. I got him higher than 1 walk allowed against the Phillies. I think he'll give up a walk. Ryan Weathers versus the Tigers. I have him higher than 2 walks allowed. I think that will happen. Casey Mize against the Yankees. 4 strikeouts. Go higher on that. Shawn Manaea against Toronto. I think 3 strikeouts he'll get. And then Trey will give up 2 walks against the Mets. Those are my picks. Please bet responsibly. All right, to end off the show, you guys, we're going to talk about Night of Champions. A bit of some shockers happened that we didn't expect, but let's get into it. So, Night of Champions took place on June 27th at the Kingdom Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, where a couple title shifts happened. Let's talk about it. So, we had the United States champion Trick Williams defend his title against Ricky Saints, where he successfully won and retained his U.S. title with involvement from Lil Yachty. Typical WWE TKO stuff, just have somebody from outside coming in and, doing his shenanigans. We had Lil Yachty do a people's elbow. That's copyright infringement. What are you doing, Lil Yachty? I'm joking. I'm trolling. Then we had the women's U.S. title match. Tiffany retained her title against Jade Cargill from help of Charlotte Flair, who struck Cargill with the title. We're probably going to get Jade versus Flair at SummerSlam, which I think would be a beautiful match. I think that would be fire. I think that's what they're probably going to build up towards, is either on night 1 or night 2, Jade versus Charlotte Flair. No title involved. That would be beautiful. Tiffany retained. That's fire for her. We'll probably have her go, I don't know, against maybe, let me think. Maybe like Kairi Sane, maybe. Maybe Bailey, who knows. Then we had Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker in a brutal steel cage match where Seth Rollins defeated Braun Breaker after a dramatic finish involving a superflex from the top of the cage through a table. They had a good match. Seems like this is where the rivalry will look like it will be put to an end. Probably move Seth Rollins onto a bigger picture. Probably not the main event title yet with Roman Reigns. Maybe, who knows? But I think that's going to be good. I don't think they'll have him up against Roman yet for the world title. Who knows? Maybe. Depends what Oba decides to do. Then we had the Queen of the Ring title finals. Io Sky overcame an injury to defeat Liv Morgan for the women's title. I honestly don't understand why you had Liv Morgan in this bracket. She is a champion. Isn't the definition of the King of the Ring or the Queen of the Ring, whoever wins it gets to choose either the WWE or the World Heavyweight title? Like, I'm kind of like confused why they had her in this thing, unless there's something I don't know. But I thought that's what it was, where you get to choose, similar to like how it was with the Royal Rumble, either the WWE champion or the world champion. I don't know why they had her in the match. But it looks like she's going to go on to challenge Liv Morgan for the world title. So it looks like they'll have a rematch. Looks like they'll probably, I've been hearing they'll add Stephanie Valkyrie to make it a triple threat at SummerSlam. So we'll see what happens. Then we had the finals for the King of the Ring. Oba defeated Jey Uso to win the 2026 tournament. As the new king, he earns a world title shot of his choosing at SummerSlam in August. So before I say what I think is going to happen, let's finish off with the undisputed WWE Championship match. So in a shocker, Sami Zayn defeated Cody Rhodes and Gunther in a triple threat match to become undisputed WWE champion by pinning Cody Rhodes. So I think a lot of people were very surprised that Sami Zayn won. I think that was something that wasn't expected. I think people thought that Cody Rhodes was going to go in to SummerSlam as WWE champion, but they took it off. I'm going to say this. I think it's time to give Cody Rhodes a break from the main event scene. I get it. He's their quote unquote, to some people, quarterback number one, but listen, I think it's time that you take him out of the picture. The amount of times that, especially in pay-per-views, the big one, when Cody goes to do his finish or some shit and you hear boos coming in, it's crazy. Like at WrestleMania when he faced Randy Orton, you heard arena boos. When he faced who was it? Gunther, you hear arena boos. It's just like I think people are getting tired of him. It's becoming one of those things of like he's got to make a change. He's either got to turn heel, but I think it's time to give him a break. Either have him start a feud with CM Punk. You know, that doesn't need no title. There's many other cats that he should face, but get him out of that picture. And I personally don't think Cody is QB number one, whatever they want to call it. I think Roman Reigns right now is a top guy in this company. Because it's tiring. It's one of those things of like you're like, damn, bro, like let's move on. Let's get something fresh here. Back to Oba Femi. So from what I've heard, they want to apparently Brock. This is rumored, so take it with a grain of salt. Apparently, Brock is going to defeat Sammy for that title, so then Oba and Brock could face at WrestleMania for the WWE Undisputed Championship. I think people would be upset, but I think that would be a great match for the title too. That would add more spark to it, which I think Oba Femi would finally win it. Because here's my thing: even though Roman Reigns versus Oba Femi would be a phenomenal match, I'm hearing that that's kind of like the backup main event for WrestleMania if The Rock can't make it. And it's like, do you want to drop the world title right now off of Roman Reigns? It's like that kind of thing. Because I think the vision right now is for sure Brock versus Oba 3. I think they want to probably add the title as a stipulate or to spark it up. And then Roman versus Seth, because Seth still needs his title rematch. You know, he never lost it. I could see that happening. You know, that's why that rivalry between Seth and Braun has been gone. Maybe move Braun to the US title picture. Have him go up against Trick Williams. I think that would be a good match. Braun Breaker versus Trick. We'll have to see. Because that was a shocker. I didn't think Sammy was gonna win. Cody, like I said, you could have him go up against CM Punk at SummerSlam. I think that would be good. I don't think we'll see Roman versus Punk again for that title. I don't think Punk's gonna get a rematch. Maybe. We'll see. Overall, okay show. Nothing crazy. I think that was probably the shocker is, you know, how much, you know, that victory with Sami Zayn. I don't think many people expected it. But thank you guys all for watching. Like I say every single time, stay humble, stay blessed, stay positive, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.